Hey gamers, Maniac here with GameAccess.net doing a special unboxing, Glorious 4K. You guys know about these. This is the Nintendo Entertainment System controllers for the Nintendo Switch. These are exclusively offered by Nintendo only for Nintendo Online members. You must have a Nintendo Online membership just to be eligible to get these. They cost, after shipping, probably somewhere between $60 to $70, depending upon what region you live in and things like that. But normally they would be somewhere around, let's say, $50 to $60 by themselves without shipping. They come in a 2-pack. You can only get one of them, but the system is only compatible with 2-player anyway, so it's not like you're going to need more than 2, at least not for one system. And they charge only based on connecting them straight to the Nintendo Switch tablet itself. So what do you say we take a closer look at these? I actually had an original NES back in the day, and I'm dying to see how these feel in comparison to the original controllers. From what I've been told, they use the exact same parts as original NES controllers, and let's be honest, they look exactly like original NES controllers. Well, needless to say, what do you say we take a closer look at this? It's a very minimalist box. This is really all that's written on it. This is the front. These are the controllers. All right, let's open this up and see what's going on, shall we? It's a simple tab. Nothing is taped. It saves me having to cut it. And we have 2 controllers here in this little carrying case and little baggies. They feel a little bit heavier than NES controllers. Now, the one thing that drove me crazy just looking at the package is that, well, the faces of both of them look identical. And the way the Nintendo, they're clicky buttons, they feel like, yeah, those feel like, that feels like NES controllers. It's got the, if you look up here, you can see that it does have a right and a left with the pairing. So that's kind of cool. There's no home or share buttons on these things, but one thing right now, like I said, they look exactly like NES controllers. They feel exactly like NES controllers. The only thing that drives me crazy is that the only way to know which way these things need to be oriented is this little strip right here. You can see the arrow down. So this would likely be a left controller. This would likely be used as in a left position. Let's open this one. Oops, hit the buttons. Feels exactly the same. And this would be the right controller. So, yeah, anybody that, like I said, they don't come with tops. There's nothing like that. The weight is not bad, and they clearly came or shipped to me charged. So, yeah, let's say we give these things a run and see how they run. The first thing we want to do is we've got to pair these up with our Nintendo Switch. And there's only one way that you can actually do that, by actually physically connecting it to the Switch unit itself. Now, we've got this Switch docked in dock mode, although this will work if it's not docked. As long as the Switch tablet itself is active, this should work okay. What we're going to have to do is we have to make sure that we orient these controllers in the proper way. Otherwise, it will have a problem connecting to the Switch itself and could possibly damage the Switch's rails. Since both controllers look the same, there's another way we're going to have to look at these things. And as you can see right here on these rails, you see this little down arrow here. That tells us, since we know we have to have both of the controllers facing front, since this is facing down, you have to make sure that they're facing downwards before we connect it into the Switch dock. And then it snaps right into place. Now, by process of elimination, if this is the left controller, this is going to have to be the right controller. As you can see, the orientation is the opposite of the other one. And we can simply switch this in there. Now, this will, by having the controllers configured into the Switch, 2 things are going to happen automatically. One, they're paired to the console now, so now they are connected. And 2, they're charging. Now, these controllers do not ship dead. They will be charged by at least somewhat before they arrive at your door. But it's always a good idea to have them charged up, or at least check their charge status while in the console before use. If you want to check your current battery, what you can do is you can simply go to the active controller menu, and as you can see here, it's detecting all the other controllers that we have connected, but it also gives the battery status of the controllers, and it knows that these are in fact the NES controllers. You won't have to update your controllers. I tested that. Even with the current firmware, these controllers do seem to already have the most recent firmware on them. But I have noticed that when I first started playing this, the buttons got very, very stiff. And that problem did go away with just time and use. So when you first get these, it's clear that they're going to be it could be very stiff when you start playing. But as you use them more and more, you know, this stick feels a lot more comfortable now. So it seems like once you get past the initial, you know, factory stiffness, then the button becomes pretty much what you remember it. And I have also noticed that the buttons are a lot more responsive. So they do require at least a little bit of breaking in to get responsiveness for it, which is fine, you know. Yeah, this D-pad is basically the D-pad that I remember. Like I said, control was a little bit stiff and maybe there was a little bit of latency to it, but as I used this a little bit more and more, you know, it got back to the, you know, the well-worn control that I remember. So that's a good thing. Couple of things I want to mention about this. You can see that it does contain L and R buttons on the top with a controller, you know, lights to indicate which controller is number 1 and number 2. Obviously, these can't be used in conjunction together, but the system is capable of work, you know, figuring out who's who and assigning the, you know, the two-player to the proper two-player game. So that's you'll know pretty quickly who's got, you know, controller 1 and who's got controller 2. And at that moment, throughout all the games that you play through that session, who's controller 1 and who's controller 2 will remain consistent. So keep that in mind when you're playing games like Balloon Fight or Super Mario Brothers and stuff. Would I recommend buying these? For a collector's value alone, the answer is yes. They do have a high price. Like I said, these do fetch about, you know, $50, you know, down payment with whatever the cost of shipping is. But take into account that new Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons cost $70 for a 2-pack. And you are getting 2 of these. Again, they can't all be charged by a Nintendo Switch, but if you can order these in the first place, they are certainly worth it. I would say if you have a Nintendo Switch account, Nintendo Network account, and you like the Nintendo NES games, playing these games with the D-pad is about 1 billion times better than playing it with the Joy-Con controllers. I'm just going to tell you that's my opinion right now. Yes, there is an initial stiffness once you start, you know, before you break these things in. You will have to play them a little bit before they get to the, you know, till the D-pads get to the way that you want them to. Just be aware of that. But that's not the end of the world. They sync quickly, they charge quickly, they work. If you are a fan of playing, or if you intend to play Zelda, Super Mario Brothers, Dr. Mario with your friends, with your companions, get these. I would say that they're worth it. And even if you don't intend to play them, they are a great collector's item that can end up on your shelf. So until next time, guys, my name is Maniac with GameAccess.net. Special thanks to the unknown camera person for filming this. Until next time, take care. Over and out.